Videos about amplifying your voice or messaging on Twitter, and so there's many different ways to spread a message. Are we spreading a product discussion? Are we branding, or are we just talking about values? Whatever. This is about amplifying your voice. We have three videos besides this one that talk about Twitter. One is basic Twitter instructions, one is gathering information, and the other is connecting with others. And so we encourage you to check out those other videos. Okay, but once again, this is amplifying your voice or messaging. The number one complaint we hear about Twitter is that new Twitter users can't get people to follow them back. And so then they get discouraged and they quit. And what it comes down to is that people realize that when they're on Twitter and they tweet, no one's listening, so it's not fun. It's not interesting. So what we want to do as organizations that want to share and want to spread a message, you need to learn about your followers. You need to see what they're up to, connect with them, um, investigate who they are, and especially pay attention to the people that retweet or share your message. So here I am at home, and I'm going to hit connect on a PC, and I can see who has followed me, who has retweeted what I said, so they passed it on to their followers. Richard has 5,589 followers, and he retweeted my information, and it went out to his followers. He's from Boulder, Colorado. So I have a larger view. I focus on the world for my messaging, not just any small place like Minnesota or any locality like Northfield. So back to home. All right. So your relationship should be similar between following and followers. I encourage you to follow everyone that follows you unless they're a spammer. So you make up your own rules about who can follow you. And the more followers that you have, the more that an odd person can blend in. So the more you don't have to worry about that one person that might say something. So I actually have an auto follow, and I pay for a third-party app to follow everyone that follows me, and later I vet them out. So I go through and I say, oh, this person should be on this list, and this person should be, I should unfollow them. Okay, so messaging on Twitter. I'm going to tweet a message. Tweet. Okay. So my tweet now goes into the basic timeline, and if you're like me, your basic timeline changes a lot, and it changes fast. So I imagine, and you should too, that other Twitter users don't really see your message. So what you want to do is never assume that once you've tweeted that everyone gets your message. You should work on ways to have a better relationship with your followers so that you know your message is getting out. Okay, so one of the ways that you can keep track of your followers is to list them. Now here's Ed. Ed isn't like me. So what I'm going to do is I want to find Ed later, and I want to be able to communicate with him later. I'm going to list him. And I'm going to put him in Aha. Now Ed doesn't just disappear into my great list of tweets. I have a way to find him later. And I go to my name on a PC, and I go to lists. And I go to There we go. So Ed's going to show up in the tweet section, and I can find him if I look for members. And who's subscribed to this list? Chuck Kravac. Okay, great. There we go. All right. So in your organization, you have to imagine, what are my followers doing? And how do they find me, and what's the best way to make it so that they really can see what's going on with what I'm saying? And so you encourage your followers to make lists, especially if you're a small community and you know that they'll listen to what you have to say. So if you're setting up Twitter for a large group, you say, hey, let's make lists, and I want to be on this list, and can you check this list so that you can find my information faster? All right. One thing I get every day is at least 50 direct messages. I get them from new followers. I get them from people that want to sell me things. I get them from people talking to me, and sometimes those people that are important get lost in my DMs. So it's discouraging to send me a direct message and then I don't reply. But train your people, or share information with your groups that direct messages are not useful on Twitter. Use email instead. Okay, so what is Twitter? Twitter is microblogging. It is sharing information that's 140 characters or less. There are other ways to share information. Actual blogging, RSS feed sharing, communicating through Facebook. There is communicating through Pinterest, and Twitter is just one way to reach out. But we have to remember that these are real people, and you can choose to follow people that are near you. You can choose to follow people, Northfield Artists, or Baker Services. Okay. I can choose to follow people in Minnesota. I can search for politics or Democrat. And one other way for you to share your message is to begin to search for people. Like, let's look at the Senate DFL caucus. That's a group out there that I know of. And I find them. Follow. They're not likely to follow me back because their ratio is poor. So if I was a new Twitter user, I might not follow them. Right? Or I could look up DFL. And so there's tweets that include things, and then there's also people. So if I was an organization and I was trying to find followers, I might do searches for who's like me, and then connect them to my other message spreading ways, like my blog or my Pinterest board. So Twitter is a way to connect with people, and you can work on that relationship so that it's deeper. Okay, so I looked up DFL, which is an organization in Minnesota. Tweets. Here's the tweet results. Here's the people. And if I was interested in finding new people that are going to be talking about that and maybe want to hear what I have to say, and maybe I want to hear what they have to say and pass on their word, I would begin to follow based on that search. Now that brings up the last thing I'm going to talk about is your profile page, which you can find under Home, View My Profile Page, or you go into the little guy up here, and that's on your PC. Your bio should be filled with keywords. So people who are like you can find you, and you can begin to share each other's messages that way. So it's not just, hey, look, I'm over here. It is keywords so that people can find you. Okay. And that's the end of messaging on Twitter. We have more ideas, so give us a call. 507-581-6519, and we're Minnesota Siren. Take care. Thanks.